Right, welcome back to our exciting tutorial, how to use Perseus and get away with it. So, here's our terrain again. Let's assume we have drawn a hill, maybe a larger hill. There we go, that's a pretty good hill. And let's rotate around so we can see the active face here. So, now we have our hill, how do we texture it? First, in order to create a new texture layer, you need to go to the Terrain Layers dialog. Here's your layer. Here is a name. This should really be named something. So you can see that if you actually name it, and I just typed in there. It's just like a standard input box. It tells you what the layer is. And there will eventually be gameplay information here as the project advances, and we determine how gameplay is attached to terrain types and so forth. So if I want to add a new terrain layer, say dirt or something, I click the Add New Layer button. Here we go, Unnamed Layer. I go and I open up the texture browser, which you can hopefully see here, and I pick a texture. So in this case, dirt1_1024.jpg, and I can name that again. Now, if I go to Paint Top Face, and I open the Tools window, I have a choice of texture here and a radius for the brush, and then I can just paint dirt all over my level, anywhere I want it. So here's a green mountain surrounded by dirt with more dirt on top, which is not very inspiring. And I can do this again if I want another texture. So if I want, say, sand makes sense, I think, in this level. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pick my sand texture. And eventually there will be a better way of selecting this other than knowing what layer you want. But right now this is what you get. So I can paint in sand. And I can go and I can paint in some more grass if I decide I need some more grass. Now, if you have a elevated chunk of terrain here, so let me go to faces, I select some faces, and I make a wall. There we go, nice little wall. In addition to painting the top of the wall, I also want to paint the sides of the wall. In Perseus, hard terrain is denoted basically if the tile heights from one border to another border don't line up, the engine will put in a hard edge there, so a wall like that. And all you do here is just click this out of the wall. And for some reason you need to be in the full window for this to work right now. So that's a bug I have to track down. And you can actually just go in and indicate what that wall's textures are. And you can paint the top of it too, just like that. So here's texture 1, my brush is radius 0, go in, paint the wall, and we have a wall. You can also paint the tops of faces over here in the perspective view. The perspective view doesn't work so well for editing. It works pretty great for painting. So generally, if I'm painting, I will try to, take a couple texture layers and I'll try to blend them in some interesting ways so that it sort of looks pretty, it's not obviously tiling. So that's very typical programmer art, I think. But what the heck? We can also, actually just go back here for a sec, we can also make invisible, lets us turn off landscape tiles. And again, it's a brush operation, same idea as before. You have a radius, you either have the brush set to make tiles invisible or do not make tiles invisible. There you go.